We are already moving on to iPhones because Apple has officially announced the iPhone 17 launch event for the day we all knew it would be, which is September 9th.
Do we get to overanalyze the invitation now?
So apparently, and I haven't done this yet, and maybe we should just do this live, if you go to the invite on Safari...
Any web browser.
It's if you just go to
is it any?
apple.com. Yeah.
Okay. So what we're seeing right now is the invite is called, it just says Apple event, and it's got this liquid glass iPhone above it with sort of this rainbow, almost Siri-esque thing on it.
I would
To
call
me,
it
it reads
like
heat map.
It's like it's like
Heat
thermal
map?
imaging.
Yeah.
Apple logo.
Oh.
Yeah. And like it's a heat map because when
Someone's
you
never seen a thermal camera before, and it shows.
Yes,
I thought you were the camera boy.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, specifically heat map also because when you move your mouse around it, it shows the like red, like it's heated up
Do
where
we
the
want to
mouse
analyze
is going.
that?
I don't
okay.
know what that
It means
we-
that it gets really hot.
Yeah. All we know is it's awe-dropping. That's
Yeah,
the tag.
that's
The
the
tag
tagline.
phrase. Sometimes it's really obvious, but
Yeah.
awe-dropping and the heat map.
Awe-dropping is very generic.
I don't know what to make of awe-dropping, to be honest.
I think it just means amazing.
yeah, it's like a generic like,
like
oh, it's gonna be
jaw-dropping.
great,
Wait.
jaw-dropping.
Yeah,
awe-inspiring.
awe-dropping is not a phrase.
This might.
I know, it's not supposed to
Awe-inspiring
be.
and
It's like a
jaw-dropping
brand word.
combined.
Do you think
It's just jaw-dropping, but like,
Awe-inspiring
in awe.
and
Yeah.
jaw-dropping
Right.
combined into one.
Do you think this could be the best iPhone they've ever released?
No.
According to Apple, yes.
That's what they want us to. That's where they want us to be.
I did hear it's going to have all-day battery life, though.
Dude, all day?
Yeah, because there won't be a mini version. That's why.
That's crazy.
I think someone has at some point compiled like all of the previous Apple events and then what the major announcement turned out to be and how it's connected to the teaser.
Right.
I'm very curious how this
Yeah.
heat map is going to translate to whatever we see at the September event.
This is a live heat map of the 17 Air.
What if it has a
So
temperature
hot.
sensor?
Thermometer, like
the
the
Pixel.
It does the Pixel.
Wait, does the Pixel
It
still
does.
have
It does, but only on the Pro.
I
No,
literally
but only on the Pro.
forgot about it.
The,
Yep,
the
still
funny
has
thing about it
The
is we
doctor
all
model.
missed in the leaks when we were wondering if it was the base or the Pro. None of us here clocked that there was a
Oh,
temperature
yeah.
sensor on the back of it, and it
The
was
second-
the Pro.
yeah, that's a
we
good
got
point.
torn apart for that one.
Hear me
That's
out.
how much we remembered it.
There's a temperature sensor, but it's built into like the combo like antenna frame of the phone, and so to use it on food, you need to fully
Insert.
insert your phone into the meat.
IP68, baby.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know what to make of the temperature. Is it? Let me look at the comments. I tweeted this invitation
No, I
and
tried-
nobody really said anything about it.
I read a few articles, and there's very few. Almost all of the ones previous were like this and this are the teasers. This is obviously what they mean, and I just didn't see that. I could have missed it, but
People are saying thermal camera. That is the most useless thing anyone could put in a new
yeah.
phone. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Liquid.
Literally, what
Not
would be the
useless,
value
it's
of
just
that?
Really cool looking photos. You could pretend to be Brockhampton.
I mean,
you could see a potential gas leak in your house with your iPhone. Oh,
That's a good
That's a
commercial.
perfect FOMO.
That's a good
That's a per-
Could you do that with a thermal camera?
Remember
Is
the
it thermal?
cat?
I don't know.
Remember
don't
the
think so.
cat phones had this?
thermal
the Caterpillar
camera.
phones?
Yeah,
had
or
this?
you could buy like a FLIR camera
Yeah.
and like look at infrared and see like things that were hotter with the heat signatures.
Yeah.
and
There are
cool.
types of thermal cameras that can do it.
Oh, the vapor chamber Roombers.
Well, every.
Yeah.
well,
So the phone. Oh, because
I don't think previous
Oh.
iPhones had vapor chamber cooling.
So the new one was gonna have vapor chambers with the
I
air.
stole
probably
this idea
won't.
from Mac Roomers. I'm not that smart.
oh, did you look up what people think it is?
I Googled Apple event heat map thermal.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna feed it a picture of the invite and ask it what
Ooh.
it thinks the hidden feature is going to be. I'll report back.
I like that. Yeah, anyway, we are expected, obviously, to see the new Pros that look like pixels. It all comes around, you know? Google tries to be like Apple. Apple tries to be like Google. Now we are at the singularity. And we are obviously supposed to see the iPhone 17 Air as well, which someone had asked me, do you think that they are making the Air just sort of as a way of prepping for the foldable iPhone?
I
And
see stuff like that also, and I don't make the
I mean,
connection.
I could see like they needed to engineer a lot of thinner parts, and so they have gotten to that point, and they're still working on the foldable. So they're like, well, we might as well make use of this.
I guess the funny thing, have we confirmed the Air? I guess it has to be thinner, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it's the whole thing.
I mean,
Oh.
the camera.
It'll have all-day battery.
Okay,
Will it?
ChatGPT's done an interesting job here. Jaw-dropping design, Jaw-dropping is basically talking about the Air is going to have this jaw-dropping, super thin design.
Yeah.
5.5 millimeters, thinnest iPhone ever. It drops your jaw. That's what they're saying. And then the color palette, they're saying because the heat signatures are kind of between blue and orange,
cool.
Those are the two new colors of the iPhone Pro, the blue and the orange. Remember you've seen the teasers?
And plus liquid glass.
And
But that
liquid
doesn't
glass,
help when
yeah.
it goes to red on the heat map.
Yeah. They didn't
It's
do
hard that
Very
it's not.
reddish orange.
Can you follow up with it and say, so why does it turn red when I drag my mouse around it?
I think it's not seeing the animation of that. I also don't get how jaw dropping means iPhone Air.
Because it's going to be so thin, you're going to be not unable.
They're going to make a
believe
big deal
it.
about how thin
They
it is.
they should have called it jaw inspiring.
Jaw inspiring.
Aw
Inspired by your jaw.
Oh man, is that our title for the Apple episode?
Jaw
The
inspiring.
jaw inspiring.
Which, by the way, we are going to be doing a podcast at Apple Park about this.
we will be out there this year.
Are we publicly announcing that right now?
Well, I
be
mean,
at
it
the
won't be a live thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will. Our
We're
goal is to
recording.
do a podcast out there at some point. In
Well,
some
no, we're gonna
place.
say it, guys. Let's put some enthusiasm on it. Come
Yeah,
on.
we haven't locked down the details
Waveform
yet.
live from Apple, not live, taped from Apple campus after the event.
Definitely stay tuned. Next week's episode is going to be awesome, or whatever. 2 weeks from now, the episode is going to be awesome. But yeah, ChatGPT says it's coded vapor chamber iPhone 17 Pro. So
Who cares about that?
yeah,
Does anyone care about that?
David, you've been talking about how hot your iPhone is for the past 6 episodes.
Yeah, because liquid glass.
I think that's
maybe-
just poor efficiency.
Oh, that's one of those things. That's one of those things Apple does. They will come out with a new software feature that ends up being way better on the newer phones.
Yeah.
And so even though you have the software feature on your current phone, you still want to upgrade because that vapor chamber is going to make my liquid glass run all day.
Yeah.
Are you saying the
Pro
iPhone 17 is built for liquid glass?
Yes.
They will say
Yes,
that.
that's exactly what they're going to do.
Built for liquid glass.
And it's going to have all day battery life again.
You know what they're going to say? They're going to say liquid glass uses this many rendering engines and it can get quite hot because it's marveling the beauty of the liquid glass.
I
But
would
with
even-
iPhone 17 Pro, we've built this specifically for liquid glass.
I would even bet that there will be special liquid glass animations that are enabled by the vapor chamber on the 17 Pros.
Damn. That's a lot of
That's a
processing to
super
not be able to
deep-
read things on your
Yeah,
homepage.
super niche possible bet that I'm willing to make.
Marketing.
I
The
am
bet. If you lose,
honestly-
you have to buy Hasselblad.
I am honestly excited for vapor chamber
my deal.
cooling, not because I use liquid glass or want to, but every time we go outside to shoot an autofocus video and we have something connected to the USB-C port, you notice how the brightness on the screen just drops to like 2% because it's cooking after like 10 minutes of usage.
Yes.
So this does actually have real world application for me that I'm very hyped for.
That's actually very fair.
Applications.
And you know, if we want to talk about like the quote pro iPhone and how people like use it for their job, we use these phones to shoot videos, and one of the most common issues with it is they overheat after a while, and this would make it easier to shoot for a long time in hot places.
It's more surprising that they didn't have it before because every other
Yeah.
smartphone has had some sort of insane cooling
Yeah.
solution. So,
and then they could talk about
would
like
say
gaming
who?
performance and stuff.
yeah. Who are you talking about?
Who?
Other
Tether?
phones? Yeah.
Red Magic?
This is the first time also that you could be talking about the new iPhone with your buds, and if your mom found your phone, she would think you were talking about drugs. Like your mom finding a text message on your phone that's like, oh man, like I was so excited to use all this liquid glass, but my vapor chamber hasn't come in yet.
My vape chamber. My vape cham.
Sick.
Yeah. It's like that. Sorry, I won't bring that up.
Yeah, no, Adam's gonna cut that anyway.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
Yeah, but not to Adam.
Well, one more quick iPhone related headline before we take a quick break, which is, I don't know if you guys saw this. There's a Bloomberg, I guess it's a rumor because it's not really.
It's also not, though. We'll bring it up first and then we'll.
Yeah. So allegedly, Apple is in discussion with Google about using Gemini to power this revamped Siri. So as we know, Apple's been working on this revamped Siri powered by LLMs for a while. Still not out.
1 year.
Is it
It's
over a
been-
year?
Well, the next event will be 1 year because the iPhone 17 was built for Apple Intelligence.
Right. So it's been a year since then.
16
But
was.
even DubDub
16,
was.
sorry.
Yeah, DubDub was when they announced it. So it's been
it's a
over
year
a
and a
year
half.
since
Yeah.
they showed it.
Yeah.
And we still don't have this new Siri, right? So
Yeah.
we're all kind of wondering when it's going to come out. How hard could this be? What are their holdups? What is the progress they're making? They're not going to tell us any of this stuff. But this conversation of like, maybe we'll work with Google and then Gemini will power it, it kind of reads like an April Fool's Day headline. Like, really? We're going to ask Siri and Siri is going to just do more Google stuff? What, like, how
Yeah.
the whole Apple and Siri thing and being focused on privacy seems like it does not compute
Yeah.
with working with Google. I don't know. It's
they're
a weird headline.
floundering for sure. I've heard from multiple people inside of Apple that like people are getting moved around different teams that were working on certain teams. They're all getting moved to like the Siri team, and they're just racing to do these. There's been all these leaks and rumors that they're thinking about buying Anthropic, and they're thinking of doing this, and like
saw it too.
that's all recent,
Yeah.
which means that like
Which means they're not done.
they're not.
They're not close.
And it's how did they announce this a year and a half ago when they were this far behind?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
It's
they
crazy.
knew they were this far behind, but
Yeah.
now they do.
Well, so if you'll remember, there was this special, like if you were at the event, they had this like kind of sit down thing with iJustine last year where she asked them some questions. And they said that she said, like, are you exclusively working with OpenAI about, you know, the using these LLMs? And they said, oh no, we're like looking into working with Gemini as well. So they clearly already had said publicly that they were
I missed
going
that.
to have
Well-
an option eventually to. It was like the do you
That was
want?
more like the ChatGPT.
Yeah, do you want to
integration.
ask ChatGPT? They said eventually we're going to be able to. Do you want to ask Gemini instead? But now, I mean, it seems like they need to use it for more than just that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of questions about like how, if you work at Apple, you probably think about this, like how do you see the future of people talking to LLMs? Will they be actively switching between models consciously, or should there just be your model and your model can do everything for them? I know when I'm in Raycast, I can switch between Gemini and ChatGPT for different things because I know one does something better than the other. But
Yeah.
do we want regular people doing that? I don't know.
but that's also the model that like goes to the internet and tries to fetch information, whereas the Siri model was supposed to be the model that controls the phone, that knows what you mean when you say, "Hey, what time is my Uber going to get here?" So it can reach inside of Uber and tell you that information. That local model, it's like Gemini Nano. It should be able to like.
Should run on device,
Run
and
on device.
quickly,
So is like Siri AI just going to use Gemini Nano?
which would be really funny. But it's like, if Apple's not a really, really heavy AI first company, maybe they're having too much trouble shrinking their model to be totally on device to do that type of stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
they actually do need that type of help.
Yeah.
Who pays who in this scenario?
Oh.
In this one, because it's not going to be coded and say it's Gemini, I
Yeah.
assume it's probably
Google's-
Apple paying Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess if Google knows it gets all of the data,
They will. They can't.
I don't think they
think-
can either. But
Especially
I
if
think
it's a
it'll
local
be-
model, it won't. That
Yeah.
data won't go anywhere.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
like Apple buys this technology
They're
from
licensing
Google
it.
or something.
Yeah.
and they get to use it and run it locally.
Yeah.
I think another interesting little tidbit of this whole saga for Apple has been the papers they've been publishing, because they run a machine learning lab. Let me make sure I get this title right. The big paper that made the big splash was from June of this year, called "The Illusion of Thinking," that was comparing LLM and LRM's at ability to solve different complexities of tasks.
Large language and large reasoning, right?
Yeah, large language model and large reasoning model. And it's pretty critical. It's pretty like, we are, these things are not as powerful as we want them to be. They put out a paper last week that was kind of interesting that I only skimmed.
Yeah, me too. I summarized it with ChatGPT.
It's called The Superweight in Large Language Models, and it's about how with LLMs specifically, you can severely alter the outcomes by changing only a few weights. And like, even if there's millions of different parameters in their models, you can change like 5 or 6 weights and like have it give a completely different answer. Anyway, this is all to say, to me, when it's like they're like pushing us back, it feels like, because Apple has slightly different standards for what like a working product is than the rest of the tech industry, they themselves are starting to realize like, oh, we're not we're not ready.
It's also one of those things where all of these AI companies have a lot to gain by being misleading.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Apple has a lot to gain by not being misleading, but they also have a lot to lose, like, because they're not ready. They don't have this stuff ready.
Yeah.
They never wanted to do this heavy, LLM stuff. They got forced to do it because the stock market.
Yeah.
There's going to be incentive on both sides to be either positive or negative about the state of this technology, but Apple doesn't have a lot to gain on hyping up the technology, especially because of how behind they are.
Well, and it's like their stock price will not be affected by people speculating how good new Siri is going to be. You know what I mean? Whereas most of these other players are.
Well, they'll get to
They
use the
could.
term AI, which is great for stock prices.
It is for great stock prices, but to me, I've always understood, and now we're getting into investment talk. So
This is not investment advice.
But it's like so much of these other publicly traded AI companies, like they don't have sales or like assets or like actual revenue that would support their stock price. Like the stock, like their stock price is supported by this speculative idea that they will have the dominant AI in whatever weird future we enter.
Right.
Whereas Apple makes the iPhone. Like they're gonna be fine. Their stock price is not as dependent on this idea that one day every single piece of reasoning in humanity will be done by Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever Meta is cooking up.
But I do think investors
Russian
look
girl.
at this and they say, like, oh, if Apple falls behind on this thing that the tech bros say is going to be the next coming of God, then Google is really forward in the next coming of God. Then, like, will put people stop buying iPhones and therefore their stock goes down because they don't make as much revenue. ABC.
It's
People
a
are
bunch of
looking.
ifs.
Yeah, it's a bunch of ifs. They're looking
is a bunch
30
of
years in the
ifs.
future. They're trying to like predict the next boom.
They're all just gambling.
That's true.
Also true.
But we should all read the
scamming.
super weight in large language models. It's pretty cool. If you're curious.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. You might have noticed something if you look all the way at the bottom right or at the top right of your computer, depending on what OS you use. You've probably realized by now, it's Techtember. Welcome.
Damn, did Waveform just do something for the Windows users out there?
Shout out to the Windows users
Now you
out
can't
there.
ever be mad.
Yeah, but just so you know, it's going to be really busy and really fun. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Don't miss a thing. It's a wonderful time of year.
Hype it up.
Just like
Hype it up.
Aerosmith. Don't want to miss a thing.
Did you say like Aerosmith? Nice.